In this video, we are going to show you how to add your personnel to your scouting report. So in previous videos, we've already created this scout and went over your pre-scout research workflow, as well as showing you your scout templates area and how to add player groups. Now we are inside of the scout that we built, and we're going to toggle over to our personnel and then click add players within our attack group. As you can see, we already added our player groupings right here, and now we're going to add players into those groups. If you click add players, it's going to bring up the roster for this team, and that roster is going to be based off of the game date that you selected. Just make sure you have the correct date, and now we'll be seeing that roster for the correct season. Now we're going to go over to our position field and click on the filter icon, and this is going to allow us to filter this list down to the positions that we want. So we're only going to do attack right now, and now you can see we're just seeing all of our attack players. We've already done our pre-scout research, so we know what players we want to add, so we just need to check the boxes next to their names to go ahead and add them into this group. You'll see the add button is red. All this is going to do is allow us to actually pick what stat profile we want to tie to each player. This is very important because those different positions are going to have different stats that you want to see, obviously. So right now, since we're doing attack, we're going to pick our attack and midfield stat profile, and then this button will turn blue and allow us to click it and add those players. So now you can see we have those 3 athletes within our attack player grouping. Now you have 2 other ways to add the rest of your personnel. So I can come down to our midfield group and click add players, and this is going to do exactly what we just did. It's going to add the players that we select into that actual group. Or you have the add players button in the top right corner. If I click on this, it is going to add those players to a group called other. So let me filter down to our midfield, and we can go ahead and select the players that we want. Now I can once again click here and add our midfield stat profile. And then now you'll see when I go over to our reorder players button, or if I scroll all the way to the bottom, those players were added into a group called other. From here, we can click reorder players, and now we can either drag and drop these players into their respective groups, or we can select these boxes, click on the drop down and click move to group. This will allow us to then pick that player group and move them over just like that. Within this modal right here, you will be able to readjust the order of the players that you would like, as well as readjust the order of the actual position groups by clicking this button and dragging them where you would like. Once you're done, just make sure you click done, and then we can go through and add the rest of our players down below. So let's add the defense into the actual group right here. Once again, we'll select our respective stat profile and add those players. And then now the only other thing here you'll want to do is you might want to select your starters. So you can do that by clicking this box next to them inside of their profile right here, or going back to your reorder players button, and you'll be able to do that for multiple players by just selecting who you want, clicking the drop down and clicking change starters. From there, once again, just make sure you click done to go ahead and lock that stuff in. Now, last step here is you will want to come up to the run stat update button after you have added the players that you would like for this scout. You can click on this, and you will notice that every time you want to run a stat update, so if a team played a game and you just want to make sure those players have the most updated stats before you print your scout out or give it to your team, you're just going to click that run stat update button, come up here and make sure that this says use assign stat profile for each player. So that's going to use the one that we just tied to each player, and then select whatever season of stats that you would like. And you do want to make sure this skills list box is checked if you do have skills lists in your scout. So it should automatically be checked and you should be good to go. What this is going to do is create your skills list based off of the players that you have already added into your personnel. Just go ahead and click Run Stat Update. The stats for the players will be updated, as well as if we toggle over to Depth and Lists, those skills lists will now be created based off the players that we just added. And that is your workflow for adding your personnel to your scouting reports.